Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy Pod, presented to you by DSM Media, as well as your host, myself, the Slimster. You can follow me on X at R2R30111. And you can follow your other host here at Scotty Drown, the one and only, what a guy it is over there. And as you can see by the title, man, Bradley Beal, he finally went to the Clippers. We kind of expected this. Unfortunately for my guy Scotty over here, Sixers fan, Paul George injured himself in a outseason run. It's just unfortunate to hear. But we'll dive into that. But nonetheless, there's a lot of good things to talk about in this show today. But before we dive into any of that, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, be exact. Go over to TikTok and follow us over there so we won't miss any more of this great content moving forward. And turn those notifications on. And yeah, man, my guy Scotty, how you doing on this fine Thursday evening, my brother? It's been a long week for me, bro, but we finally made. Well, for the both of us, we finally made it though. So
Yeah, yeah, we had to catch up for the show. It's been a minute since we hopped on, and definitely been a long week. I know for you, I'm getting ready for vacation, so it's definitely been a long week for me prepping with work and
yeah,
shit. So yeah, I
yeah.
definitely feel you. Happy Thursday, man. I'm happy to be here. We got some stuff to talk about. The Beal buyout, of course. The Suns have totally just redirected this offseason. And then you mentioned the life of a Sixers fan, man. I don't know that I wish it on anybody at this point, man.
Dang,
Between the Embiid
it's
article,
rough.
you learn a lot about the organization itself and how they've handled Embiid and just how they handle situations in general. I think the way they handled Embiid speaks to how they handle things horribly in general. You had the Harden beef apparently, and then of course LeBron, man. What's up with him? What's he going after this season? You know what I mean? Like, what is he really looking for? But I think I'm most excited. I'm excited to hear your answer at the end of the show. We got a Who You Got segment. I'm excited for that, man. We'll get into that at the end. But
Mhm.
a lot of exciting topics, man. Where you want to start, though?
Hey, man, let's start at the top, man. Bradley Beal, he finally got bought out by the Phoenix Suns and went over to LA. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, man. You hit the nail on the head. He got bought out by the Phoenix Suns. They agreed to it. It looked like he was headed out the door, like you said. And the rumors were that he was looking to go to the Clippers, which makes a ton of sense for his fit. I know I saw some type of, maybe it wasn't an interview, but comments from his agent or his camp of what Bradley Beal is actually looking for was exactly that. He's not looking for money anymore. He's not looking for like this superstar role within a team. He's just looking for the perfect role for him right now and
Makes
where he's
sense.
at in his career. And the Clippers make a lot of sense. And something you said to me
Absolutely.
before the show, man, Bradley Beal at 60 million is a lot different than Bradley Beal at 2 years, 11 million. And I'll throw it to you, my man. I'm not going to steal the show here, but I'll throw it to you. Bradley Beal's numbers last season, what are your thoughts there? And what are the Clippers like getting in your eyes?
So Bradley Beal last season played 53 games. He finished the season averaging 17 points. Pretty much shot 50% from the field and nearly 40% from 3-point range. To me, for that to get those type of numbers from a third option, that kind of says a lot. Like that's pretty darn good if you ask me. So I don't
Yeah,
really know what his role will be on the Clippers team. Maybe between the second or third option, because we all know, what Kawhi deals with in
yeah.
terms of health. So he may get an elevated role over there in LA. So but what does this mean for the Clippers? I feel like this means that they hit the jackpot, in my opinion. Like by any means, we're not saying that Bradley Beal is like this, needle move for them to get over the hump. But when you look at what they just did, it makes a ton of sense. Essentially, you basically just you flipped Norman Powell to get both Bradley Beal and John Collins. That's a
Yeah.
win in my books. To your point, what me and you was discussing before we got on the pod, he's not worth 60 million in my opinion. But to get him at that price, 5.5 million, that's a win
Yeah.
in my books. Because he still can go out there and get you potentially 20 a night. The past two seasons he's averaged pretty much like 18. So it's just a good overall fit, and the contract as well, man, just pretty cheap. So it's like a what is it, like a high reward, low risk, high
High
reward type
risk.
of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Low
So
risk, high
that's
reward. Yeah,
yeah, low risk,
exactly.
high reward type of scenario. So I feel like it's a win for sure.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The numbers speak for themselves, and like you said, it was in a minimized role. I think even if you got those same numbers on the Clippers, I think they're taking that all day. 17 points,
Mhm.
3 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal per game. 50% from the field, 39% from the 3-point line. I saw also, man, I was reading this article on ESPN about the deal, and it kind of got into some deeper numbers with Bradley Beal last season. And apparently he shot the best in his career as far as like in the lane, finishing at the rim, layups, anything in the paint. He was shooting at an all-time high for his career percentages. So I think that's a good sign. That shows he's like athletic enough to get to spots in the paint, athletic enough to get to the rim. We know he can shoot. So the efficiency, the shooting numbers were really what I was looking at. It wasn't as much about the 17 points per game. I mean, the 17 points is great, but when you're shooting it on 50, 39, 80 splits, that's great, to your point. Even in an emphasized role, if those numbers go down a little bit, that's not that bad, man, from a percentages standpoint. So I do like what they did. They also signed Brook Lopez this offseason. That's another quality, a guy that's contributed to a championship. And you get the Harden extension done. So they're pushing their chips in, man. They're trying to go for it right now, and rightfully so. They looked really good in the postseason last year, right? This past season, I should say. Yeah. They looked really good. Kawhi looked really good. They did they end up losing to was it the Nuggets?
Yeah, they took them to 7 games. So.
The Nuggets, which we saw with the Nuggets, where they were able to take OKC, right? They took OKC to 7. So when you look at what the Clippers did last year, it makes sense for them to go all in. Then you start to look at the roster, man. Harden, Chris Dunn, Bradley Beal, Derrick Jones Jr., Kawhi Leonard, John Collins, Zubac, Batum, Bogdanovich, Brook Lopez. Do they bring back Amir Coffey? I don't know. He's still a free agent. We'll see. I don't know if they're planning to or not. You threw something in our chat earlier today, man, and it had a picture of Chris Paul in there. Or maybe it was yesterday you threw that in there. But is that a rumor? I know he's a free agent right now. Is that something that could happen? Because they could use like a backup point guard, a backup facilitator, if you don't want to let, I've seen some talk about Bradley Beal maybe coming off the bench as a 6 man. I don't know if that's what he's looking for with this role, though. But
I doubt it.
Yeah, thinking about like Chris Paul and just overall with this roster, I think the Clippers are in pretty good shape going into this season. Yeah. Do you think they're like legitimate title contenders? Like up there, we use OKC as the barometer now, right? Like they're the champions. Do you see this team capable of being able to compete with OKC?
I think they could be in the mix for sure. I mean, when you look at the pieces that they added during this offseason, they have clearly gotten better. To your point, they brought in Brook Lopez. See, here's the thing with Brook. Like, as a starter, those days are probably cooked, but as a backup big, though, like, he's going to be a star in his role, like being able to stretch the floor, protect the rim, and just being a low post threat down there. So I like that signing and bringing in Bill, John Collins. So I feel like they got better for sure. And there are a lot of people, you just brought this guy up. He doesn't get brought up a lot. It's Bogdanovich, They traded for him at the trade deadline last season. He still got some value in this league. Still can get hot from 3-point range. So, yeah, man, I think that they can for sure be in the mix of things. It's just going to come down to, like, health. Like, is that still the elephant in the room? Like, can this trio of Bill, Harden, and Kawhi stay on the court together? That is what it's going to come down to. Not even just the regular season, but also when it matters the most in the postseason. So, yeah, man, if they healthy, they're a real threat to potentially win the West. Bradley Beal, he can play off Harden and Kawhi. He gives them another shot creator without, needing the ball necessarily 24/7. So that's a good pickup for sure. But with Chris Paul, though, I just feel like it makes the most sense for him to end his career out with the Clippers. I don't see a better fit, honestly. And he get to be close to his family. So, yeah.
Makes a ton of sense, unless he's gonna, maybe he goes out there with LeBron. Maybe that's one of the plans. But no, I do agree. I think it would be perfect, even if he's at a minimized role. He doesn't need that much playing time at this point, and he could, expend Harden from that playmaking role at times throughout the season. Him and John Collins, that would be a heck of a duo. Like I know that they would be. John Collins probably going to start, but. Definitely could work similar to the way Harden and John Collins will work. So I do like it, man. I do think they can compete. I think they're as real of a contender as you can be next to OKC right now. We got to see how OKC bounces back after their championship too. So it's interesting. OKC's like running the summer league right now too.
Yeah,
They like lead the league in point differential and they're undefeated right now. So the
yeah,
youth system is maximizing as well.
yeah. I seen them doing like the post game stuff. I was like, even in summer league, that is crazy, bro.
The
Like
culture,
the
right?
culture, yeah,
Yeah,
the
they
culture,
got
bro.
something good over there in Oklahoma City, but these teams are trying hard. They're trying hard to catch up, man. The Phoenix Suns, that's the other side of the situation.
Yep.
How do you feel about this for them? The buyout, they came to a mutual agreement. It feels like Bradley Beal kind of wanted to move on as well. And they obviously wanted to move on from this whole Bradley Beal KD situation they had going on.
I feel like, man, it was just a lesson learned. You know, when they went out there and got Bradley Bill, bro, I just knew then that was a bad move because you bring in another ball dominant player. Like, it ain't no secret what the recipe is to win a title, bro. Like, you have your guy in Devin Booker and you trade for KD, you got your two scorers, surround those guys with two elite wing defenders and
Yep.
a rim protecting big that can potentially stretch the floor. And that's like the recipe to win a championship. Like, obviously, have a solid bench. But
Yeah.
no, they just went out there and just got another score, which makes zero sense. Like, defensively, over the past couple of years, this team has been horrible. And I'm not even a fan of the Phoenix Suns, but just seeing that team on defense was just, a terrible thing to see. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's a lesson learned. But I mean, hey, in the midst of doing this, you still kind of getting solid. You bring in a guy like Dylan Brooks, who he get talks about a lot, but he's a solid 3-and-D type of guy.
Yeah.
Bring in a young talent like Jalen Green, who has a lot of untapped potential, I believe. And him being alongside a guy like Devin Booker can help unlock that. And they got your guy, what's the rookie name from Duke? Kalama. Uh,
Oh, Malawatch. Yeah, Connor
Malawaj, not
Malawatch.
yeah, Malawaj. They got him as well. They traded for Mark Williams, so they got some solid pieces during this kind of like shifting over from Bill and KD. It just that I don't know if that's enough to compete though, because I mean Devin Booker is like he's closer to 30 now, and I
Yeah.
doubt he just kind of want to rebuild. He just got an extension the other day, like 71 million a year or something for 2 years. So shout out to him. But yeah, man, it's interesting. They got a new head coach as well, so. I think they're just kind of shifting into like this direction of like not necessarily rebuilding, but like retooling. If that makes
Yeah, I
sense.
feel you. I feel you on that. And that's the thing. It's hard to call it a rebuild when you have Devin Booker on the
Yeah,
roster. They
exactly.
just extended him. Like
Yeah,
he's locked in Phoenix, right? And you start to look at like the pieces they put together. You mentioned Jalen Green. Maybe that's like the second option to Devin Booker now. Um, you still got Grayson Allen. You got Dylan Brooks, as you mentioned. You got two centers, right? And Malawatch is the rookie. Mark Williams is the established guy that a lot of teams were interested in. And he's your typical like rebounding, protect the rim type of big that every team
yeah.
can use. I'm curious if they can package like one of those guys with like a Grayson Allen and go get maybe another piece. I know we're talking
But
about
see,
quality and depth. It's just
yeah,
in the
you're right.
West. They're not competing with this roster in the West, in my opinion.
I agree. I think they could be a playing team, but see, here's the thing though. Like, I feel
Is
like they
that
could
even worth
potentially
it?
they can keep those two, but they have like two other centers on their team. They got Nick Richards over there, and the
True.
rookie that they had last year is like Oso or something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe you could potentially
No,
move one
true.
of those guys. And they got Royce O'Neal over there too. He's making like 10 million a year. So
Royce O'Neal, he could be in it. They did pick up
mhm.
some decent players in the draft, like you mentioned, Malawatch, but Kobe Brea. And
Yes,
then
he's pretty tough.
Is it Rashad Fleming or
Yeah,
Rasheer
Fleming.
Fleming?
Yeah, Fleming.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he was somebody that I was eyeing for the Sixers, of course. But yeah, they get younger overall. I think that's something that you might see a couple teams doing. That's kind of what the Sixers have done in a sense, outside of Embiid and Paul George. But yeah, it's just in the West, man. If they were in the East, contend, no, but like they could make the playoffs easily in the East with that roster. But in the West,
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's tough to see that when you have teams like San Antonio that are going to be just better next year, like should be a playoff team next year. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's other teams I'm not even thinking of right now, but they they kind of got out of the situation. The only thing, man, that trade for KD, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and 5 first-round picks, along
Easy
with
money
5
sniper.
pick swaps as well.
Easy money
So,
sniper.
yeah, I don't know. I guess they did what they could. And to be fair, I did read an article in this one as well. I guess it was the same article as the Beal buyout, but I believe it's Matt Ishiba. Is that the owner's name of the Suns? I believe that's the name. But nonetheless, the owner of the
Yeah.
Suns doubled down on the moves and said, not 99 out of 100 times I would do those deals. 100 out of 100 times.
Okay.
I or anyone else in this league would do those deals. So
Okay.
he's not feeling regretful about the moves, although I feel like they lost out on quite a bit. And just think, you keep that core together. Maybe you switch out Ayton and somebody, right? They ended up getting rid of Ayton anyways. You keep Cam Johnson, you keep Mikal Bridges with Devin Booker. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying those players are better than Kevin Durant. It's just
I get what you're saying. You're giving
they were a better fit. They made the finals.
Yeah, when you make that move, you still got some holes to fill.
Yeah.
You're giving up one of your best defenders and
Yeah.
2 of your best defenders for a score. But the thing is, they messed up at, bro, like trading Chris Paul for Bill. That's where they messed up at right there.
Yeah.
Maybe could have flipped CP for like some wing defenders and just let Book run the one, something like that, instead of just going out there and getting a guy like Bill, with all due respect. So I'm with you on that, bro, for sure.
Maybe should have just kept Chris Paul. Like that
potentially, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Trade Aiden,
That's a better fit. Like Paul, Book, KD, it's point guard, shooting guard, small forward. Like it just makes sense, or power forward, whatever you want to box KD into. But Suns, I think they tried to rewrite some of their wrongs and they succeeded in a sense, but just not fully hopeful for them as far as contending or anything serious in regards for Devin Booker specifically, because that's the guy that deserves to contend.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to go next, my man? Paul George, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about you. Yeah, we can talk about your Sixers, man. It's been long enough, bro. We got to talk about Philly, man. Joel Embiid, man, he's really won over the heart of a lot of people over the past 24 hours, man. I got to give it to JoJo. He really touched a lot of people's heart. You read that article, so
yeah. No doubt. I definitely read it. It was very well written. Let me find the guy's name. I definitely want to shout him out because that was a very well written article.
Yeah,
Dotan Akintoy is how I'm pronouncing it. I may have butchered that. I apologize. I just wanted to shout him out because that article was excellent. It was excellent.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say it while he was finding his name, but just to kind of let the audience know what the article was about. Like basically, Embiid, he talks about mental health, therapy, emotional weight of like leading Philly. Admits he didn't feel surprised during tough moments. Reveals that Harden doesn't speak to him anymore. He raises the question like, do the Sixers? It raises the question like, do the Sixers owe Embiid a real chance to win? So it's definitely a good article. I highly recommend. You guys, read it. There's a lot of touching things in there that kind of hit home for him. So
yeah, no doubt. I think the biggest takeaway in reality, outside of like the sentimental value of the article, is that he basically said he's not like rushing back from injuries anymore. He's going to take his time to feel all the way right. He's not going to play at a limited capacity anymore like he's done in the past and past postseasons. So Daryl Morey says he's hopeful that Embiid's back by start of the regular season. Embiid says he doesn't have a timetable. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. So I think that's the biggest reality that you pull out of the article, is that you don't have a timetable on when Embiid's going to be back and actually playing with this roster. And that kind of leads me into Paul George, man, because this is ultimately where I'm at. Like Paul George suffered a knee injury, obviously, in a recent workout. Fell to the floor, apparently was holding his knee. They got him to the hospital, found out he needed a arthroscopic knee surgery in the middle of the offseason after a season that was riddled with injuries last year. And, you look at Paul George, this was the 5th time in 6 seasons he's played less than 60 games in a season. So 5 out of his last 6 seasons, he's played less than 60 games. And where I'm at, man, with him and that injury, it ultimately doesn't matter if Embiid's not playing because they're not. Paul George isn't the difference for me anymore, quite honestly. I think if you add him at some point in the season, that's great. I think it definitely helps the Sixers' cause. But overall, we're going to be waiting, and I think everything's going to be relying on Embiid and that knee and him coming back and being healthy. I think it just starts there. And I think that's why this is just kind of great timing for Paul George and this article to come out, because these are both of our injury-riddled stars. And, it just leads into another season of uncertainty, man. Like last year, I shouldn't say that. Last year, I was excited because we had just signed Paul George as a free agent. And you thought Embiid, playing in the Olympics, winning gold, thought he was going to be ready for the regular season. And now everything is just up in the air again, continued off of last season after you get blessed with the 3rd pick in the draft. So,
yeah.
Martian's in a bad mood. Martian, don't be so miserable, man. Don't be so miserable. I'm interested in your thoughts, though, on Paul George, man. Injured again.
It just sucks, man. Like, I remember last season, man, last offseason, you guys were so excited to have him. It was like, man, this is the upgrade over Tobias Harris. And then, to finish the season off, they pretty much average the same numbers. And Paul George is making, a lot more than Tobias. So it just sucks, man. Injuries is just an unfortunate part of the game. And, yeah, man, it's just like, damn, like, when we ever just see these guys healthy, like him, Maxey, and Joel?
Yeah.
It's like, on paper, it looks good. It pretty much a good trio. It just the health thing is kind of like holding that back from just reaching his full potential. But I don't know, man. It definitely sucks because you guys have Paul George on the contract for like 3 more years or something like that too. After this
at
season,
least 3.
so yeah, man. I don't know. I know I seen a lot of reports about y'all interested in moving him, and yeah, that would definitely suck if you Paul George.
I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work.
Did you with the Mello podcast, bro? Did you see what he said on there when the Eagles won the championship, the Super Bowl?
I can't remember exactly what he said, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was right in the middle of the parade, and one of the fans had yelled something. They was like, "We could have kept Tobias for this shit," or something like that, bro. And Paul George said he went home and just started dribbling like the closest basketball, bro. Like, it's true. Though.
He was dribbling that joint too much. He hurt himself.
Kept Tobias for this level of production. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, if it was gonna be this at this point, we could have done something.
But I feel like you guys are, in a better, to an extent though. You guys are in a better state than my Warriors. So
I don't know. Maybe if we actually sign Grimes back, maybe.
Okay, but
I don't know.
If you guys sign Grimes back, at least he wants to be there. If we sign Kuminga back, he don't want to be here.
That's fair. That's fair. But no, I think too. Martian made the comment uncertainty, and I do get it. It's like we're talking about the 2 highest paid guys on the roster right now being uncertain to start the season. But look around the Eastern Conference and the players that are injured, the teams that are going to be just dwindled from the start. Like the Pacers, for example, they're a great example. The Boston Celtics. There's quite a few other teams that will also be figuring things out. And I think the bright side for me, man, as somebody who just like enjoys hoops in general, having youth makes a complete difference in the way you watch your basketball team, in my opinion. Like when you have some sort of hope for the future, it gives me enough to buy in and watch ultimately and be interested in something other than just ranks, but the growth and development. I know it sounds horrible when you have Embiid and Paul George on your team, but last season we ended up with the 3rd pick. So like we've been through the hardest that it could be in reality. Tyrese Maxey didn't really even play last year, along with Jared McKay, Joel Embiid, and Paul George. Like that was just a tumultuous season, and I think I think Martian is still stuck in that mud, but I get it. This stuff doesn't make you feel any better. I do get it, but
yeah,
the youth is what I'm focusing on, Slim. We got VJ, we got Jared, we got Tyrese, and then if we can get Grimes back, we got Edwards, we got a Dembona, and we got Janai Broom, who's looked pretty good in summer league.
Yeah, yes, that's some solid young players. But to say this right quick, bro, like but it just came to my mind. Like it's like you guys will never beat the allegations in terms of just injuries, bro. Like I think of guys like Jahlil Okafor. You know, when he was there with you guys, kept getting injured. Markelle Fultz injured. Rashawn Holmes, y'all had him at one point. He kept getting injured. You know, Ben Simmons to an extent. Joel when he first started. You know, a lot of picks. Nerlens Noel, you know, all these guys just kept getting injured. And I don't know, bro, what's going on down there in Philly, but you know, something about injuries, bro. Like, I don't know, man.
Bruh, I mean, reading this article, you know, to Martian's point right here in this comment, reading this article, there was so much that he talked about that the Sixers, it's just unfathomable of what they did. Like his first knee injury in the NBA was overseen by an intern. This is the number 3 pick in the draft. He blew his knee out, and his injury is oversaw by an intern. Like that's ridiculous. Then his GM, the GM gets caught up with like fake burner accounts on Twitter, dog. Like putting out fake information from burner accounts. Gets kicked out of off the team or whatever, right? Like. You had Ben Simmons, not only the injuries, but him completely forgetting how to shoot or the want to shoot. You had James Harden in the contract situation there. There has just been a lot of stuff that has gone wrong from the Sixers' point of view during Joel Embiid's time and just in general, man. They honestly, you know, they're a pathetic organization, quite honestly. In all seriousness, the way from the description in this article and the stories that we've heard over time, they're a pathetic excuse of an organization. It sucks that I'm locked into being a Sixers fan, quite honestly, because they treat their players horrible from the looks of that article. But once again, to Martian's point here, Embiid is not completely – he doesn't go without a little bit of blame here. Without a little bit of accountability as far as winning a championship and getting to the promised land. But anything aside from that, I think I do absolve him to a certain standpoint. Competing, winning at the highest level, sure. Getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals, but at the same time, this man gave us excitement when, quite frankly, our organization didn't deserve it. So I don't know. I give him a little bit of grace there, but I do feel you, Martian. And I do feel you, Slim. I think there's something in the water, man. Markelle Fultz, Jahlil Okafor. I mean, the list goes on.
Yes. What was that dude name? He was a lottery pick.
Zaire Smith.
Zaire Smith. Yep. Zaire
Traded
Smith.
Mikal Bridges for Zaire Smith.
Yep. Zaire Smith. Yep.
We drafted Mikal Bridges, who went to Villanova. Mom worked for the 76ers.
Worked for the 76ers.
And we traded him for Zaire Smith.
Oh, my God, bro. Like, what is really going on?
Yeah. Just like torture. That's what it is, bro.
Yeah,
To get you excited by signing Paul George last year, then it turns into what it turned into. To get you excited, they trade for James Harden, then it turns into what it turned into.
Yeah.
It's every time. Ben Simmons, you thought we had the next duo with Ben Simmons and Embiid. No.
Yeah, you guys gave Al Horford the max.
Al Horford the max. Oh, man, it goes on. Tobias the max. Tobias over Jimmy.
Yeah, like
Jimmy left. Jimmy was on the team at one point. He would have been nice.
Yeah. Y'all been through a lot, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
We do
For
it to
real.
ourselves though. Like the organization does it to themselves. They have no one
Yeah,
else
that's true.
to
And to
blame, man.
Martian point, it's like Joel Embiid not taking accountability, but do the Sixers front office take accountability? It starts at the head of the table.
Right?
To your point, you guys have made a lot of horrible moves over the past 10 years,
Yeah.
bro. They're trying to make up for it, but some of those moves just crazy to me, man. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
mean, he even said that Harden won't talk to him, and I think that is like
Mhm.
that's kind of on Daryl Morey to like make that right. Like Daryl Morey should let everybody know that that was his decision, not Embiid's. Like I think that's just like shoving the blame down
Yeah,
the table, man. Like he
yeah.
said, why wouldn't he want to play with James Harden, who he won the MVP with? That makes zero sense.
Right.
Hiring Doc Rivers, Martian.
Come on, man. Doc Rivers still getting straight
We
into the
got
LeBron.
we got something for Doc Rivers later on in the show, though. We got something that involves him a little bit later, man. But do you want to
Yeah.
touch on LeBron before we get to the last segment, bro?
Yeah, I got a few questions for you, man. It ain't nothing we
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
dive into. I just feel like it'll be good for AI to kind
yeah.
of edit the video. But um man, LeBron, is this the farewell tour? Or is he going to chase one more ring? If the Lakers struggle, do we see LeBron walk away next summer? Or does he find one last team to ride with? One last team.
I'm starting to get the feeling that this is like the last ride. I think this is going to be the each time he's playing in this arena for the last time, in the season, it's going to be that, retirement tour where these games are going to sell out completely. And I think he's going to make it known by the time the season starts. I don't think he'll have like a going out season without letting us know. But I will say this: if he wants to compete, I mean, he competed at a high level last season. He's already over 40 years old, playing at a high level. The Lakers have brought in Luka, so is he willing to take maybe more of a minimized role on the team and let Luka shine a little bit more and be that focal point of the roster? We'll see, man. Overall, the reason I say it's a farewell tour for LeBron is because I don't love the construction of the Lakers, man. I really don't.
I
I think
feel
they
it.
have solid pieces around, on the team. They have solid pieces, but do they fit together is the big
Mm-hmm.
question for me. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think this might be a farewell tour, man. It feels like it. He's doing the
Yeah.
pod a lot more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mind the
Yep.
game. So yeah, it just
And
feels
then
like.
like yeah, then you see like a lot of reports that he's just not happy. I don't know how true and accurate these reports are, but it's like he's kind of upset and like grumpy about most
They
of the things
traded
that's
his best
going on.
friend.
So
One of his best friends in Anthony
they
Davis.
yeah,
Like
it is true. Yep.
for,
It is true.
Luka. Luka's a great player, obviously, but how much when Luka steps in the room is everything about Luka versus, LeBron's
Mm-hmm.
used to it all being about him. So I see D-Rab says he thinks that LeBron's gonna go to Dallas or Cleveland. I thought he already came out and said that he's not though. I thought he came out and said he's gonna
Yeah.
play for the Lakers.
Yeah, he says he's not going back to Cleveland, but I think it would make sense to go there. Though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I do too. I think it makes sense both sides, like what they could give up for him and what the
Yeah.
Lakers would get back and ultimately the fit once he gets there.
He got a better chance over there in the East, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Is he gonna leave
Right?
his son though?
That's the thing right there. That's the
It's like
thing,
a
bro.
really weird question. That's something that nobody else has ever had to really do in their careers. But I just feel like Bronny should not impact LeBron's situation at this point. I
Yeah.
think family can impact it if you want your family to be comfortable in LA, blah, blah, blah. Sure. But the fact that Bronny's on the Lakers, like Bron leaving, maybe that opens up a role for Bronny to actually have a spot. Who knows? But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've seen reports that Rich Paul came out and said like they didn't try to get an extension with the LA Lakers. He opted in for a reason. Like he's mulling that this may be his last season. But I guess that doesn't technically mean he's solidified staying in LA. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you on that. But yeah, we'll see what LeBron do. You know, one thing about LeBron, he does a damn good job of making it about him. So I got to get that to him. You know, like when the season ended, you know, like the headlines is just going to be LeBron last season. And you know, did you see that
We love
commercial he
that.
did, bro? Like, did you see the commercial? It was like teasing him retiring, but he's really not retiring. So he's damn good at manipulating, you know,
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So. But what is Marshawn talking about? Hey, yo, touch on LeBron. Y'all gotta chill out on that, bro. Diddy's retired right now, so you know.
Yeah, we gotta chill. Gotta chill on the diddler stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll see what LeBron does, bruh. I feel you. I feel you. He does love that attention. Be funny if he announces a farewell tour, balls out, and then goes against it and says, "I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna have another farewell tour. Let's run it back."
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, bro. Let's get to the last segment of the show today, man. I know you excited for it. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm honestly excited to hear your answer. I'm excited to answer myself, but we got a who you got segment,
Sir.
and we are going with two teams that won championships 10 years apart. Is that correct, my man?
Yes, sir. 10 years apart.
The 2018 Golden State Warriors and the 2008 Boston Celtics. Who do you got winning a 7-game series?
Man, 7 game series, bro. Ah, 2018 Warriors starting lineup: Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, JaVale. Elite shooting, switchable defense, and obviously championship chemistry. They had some bench depth: Iggy, Sean Livingston, David West, Nick Young. The '08 Celtics, though: Rondo, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, KG, Big Perkins. You know, a defensive juggernaut team. You know, can bring that physicality. They got some experience. Mentally tough, known for shutting down stars. Man, you get the memo here. It's going to be a dogfight for sure. And I think that this series could easily go to 7. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it's going to come down to like who can guard KD. Can Rondo chase Steph around screens? KG versus Draymond, battle of the minds and the mouth, like all the trash talking is going to be, you know, talked out there. With the Celtics toughness start the Celtics with the Celtics toughness start the Warriors off their rhythm. And last but not least, the coaching. Doc Rivers versus Steve Kerr. That's going to be a good matchup right there for sure. But obviously, man, you know the answer to this, bro. You know I'm going with Golden State. Come on, man. What are we talking about here, man? And Easy Money Sniper, man. He's going to be the reason why. Like, Paul Pierce made a statement a few weeks ago that he's the best per scorer to ever play this game. But nah, I think Katie got his number. But it's gonna be some interesting matchups for sure. But nah, give me Golden State at 7, bro, for sure.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I definitely agree. I think this would go 7. I do love the matchups. Rondo chasing Steph around. The Celtics do have. I was checking the roster here. They do have James Posey off the bench, who was
Very cozy.
he was a solid defender. He's a solid wing defender in his day. They did have Tony Allen, who was also a great perimeter defender, not necessarily a wing defender, but great perimeter defender. To your point, they had a ton of tenacity. That Celtic squad was pretty nasty. The tenacity, the defensive prowess, to your point, is that enough to stifle the Kevin Durant version of the Warriors, the top form Warriors?
Yeah, you know what I just thought about that, bro? We're gonna
What's
play
up?
Kendrick Perkins off the court. They're gonna have to go small. Cause
They would.
him being the
Yeah.
drop coverage, bro, like even if he come up high, bro, that's gonna get cooked, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
KG would have to play the center, most likely.
Yeah, ain't
You'd
gonna have
probably
no
have
choice.
to bring James Posey or Tony Allen out. I guess you could let Paul Pierce guard the power. I'm trying to think of y'all's
Did
line.
they
Well, it'd be
they
y'all's lineup
did they
there.
have big they had Big Baby Davis, didn't it? That year? I think they did.
Yeah, they did have Big Baby Davis. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Eddie House.
mhm. Yeah.
That was a stacked
Well,
team.
to your
I
point, they
did.
got Tony Allen though, so they can just
They could
Rondo
start him.
Allen, uh both of the Allens, Paul Pierce and KG, you know.
Yeah, KG and McGee. Paul Pierce would be going against Draymond. That's interesting. And then what? KD and
Ray Allen.
Yeah.
Tony Allen and Clay. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm putting Ray Allen on KD.
But the way I look at it, though, he's going to get his regardless. So,
yeah.
Unless you put Kevin Garnett on him, but you taking him away from the rim, your best rim protector, if you put KG on KD. So
I think I would have to start James Posey. He was 6'8". He could shoot the three a little bit. He's a 3-and-D back in the day. I think it would be Rondo, Ray Allen, Posey, Paul Pierce, and then either way, I'm gonna go with the Warriors as well, man. I just think modern basketball, something that's closer to modern basketball. I do worry about the 3-point range, man. And it's funny because they got Ray Allen, right? And they got some shooters on that Boston team. Don't get me wrong. But I just think KD on a different level that season, Steph Curry on a different level, Klay Thompson in his prime. I mean, this is a Warriors team that is talked about as one of the greatest teams of all time. So, not that this Celtics team isn't. And then to the point about coaches, bro, it's funny, those two coaches, I think, like, at this point, I'm not going to totally dismantle Steve Kerr by saying it, but, like, just a little overrated, both of them.
That's fair. Hey, I ain't arguing, man. That's fair.
Yeah, so I don't know who would have the advantage. I think they're both a little overrated. I guess I'll go with Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm biased against Glenn Rivers.
Yeah. You definitely are. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. I'll go with the Warriors, but it would be a good one. Those are great matchups, to your point.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be fun. Very entertaining, to say the least. Yeah, but I think one thing that stood out to me, though, if this series was where to happen, it would have to be the trash talk between Draymond and KG. Like, the stuff they would say to each other would just be entertaining.
Yeah.
Sure, so.
Paul Pierce going out in wheelchairs and shit. You got some characters, dog, in those two teams, man.
Don't forget, you chasing that farewell tour. They don't love you like that.
Hey, bro. Paul Pierce, who knows, man? The truth. Maybe he just goes out and has a hell of a series. But
one thing about it, bro, you don't get a nickname like that for no reason. You have to really be the truth. So
that's facts, though. That's facts. He's with the strippers now, though.
Yeah. Come on, bro. Don't do Paul like that, man.
Nah, he's the truth, bro. I respect it. I respect the hustle. But nah, I think Warriors got it. To your credit, my man. Anything else before we get out of here, brother?
Hey, man, that's pretty much it, man. Make sure you guys follow my guy, Scotty Drown, the real GOAT, man. He's a real winner in life, man. What a dude. He's constantly getting great at this. Every week him and his guy Dylan over there doing their thing on the pod, as well as me and him. So make sure you guys show those guys some love. And follow me on X as well at Ultra30111. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My guy Scotty going on vacation, so I don't know when we'll be back. So just stay tuned. That's why you turn notifications on. We might pop out on you guys when
not next week, but the following week.
Yeah, so probably another week. So basically, we're gonna take a week off, ladies and gentlemen. So,
first week of August, we'll be back.
Yeah, first week of August, and hopefully something else happen. Give us something to talk about.
Yeah,
because Summer League will be over at that point. We'll see who wins it. So yeah, but that's pretty much
no Mexico show, D-Rab. No Mexico show. I'm gonna enjoy the vacay.
Mexico show, bro. This man. But that's pretty much it for me, bro.
Yeah, that's all I got today, my man. Let's go ahead and get out of here. As Slim said, be sure to follow us on the X, on the TikTok. Be sure to, most importantly, follow @ToTheGalaxyPod and, of course, at DSM_media. That's going to be it for this episode of NBA to the Galaxy. Peace, everybody. Enjoy.
D-Row!